The air was thick with the buzzing hum of neon lights, casting a kaleidoscope of vibrant hues across the towering skyline. Nia Carter walked with purpose along the rain-slicked pavement, her coat pulled tight against the chilly breeze that swept through the concrete jungle. Above her, digital billboards flickered ominously, their messages flashing like hypnotic rhythms designed to bind the mind. As a tech-savvy investigative journalist, Nia's keen eyes caught an odd flicker in the display across the street, a momentary glitch that no one else seemed to notice. It was precisely in these moments of anomaly that Nia thrived. Nia stopped, peeling her eyes away from the thrumming chaos of the city, tuning into her own intuition. Her pulse quickened. She discreetly unlocked her tablet and initiated a scan on the digital display, the AI protocol she'd designed purring to life under her deft fingers. She gasped at the results. A file, encrypted and seemingly innocuous, was named Decode 2025. Her heart thudded as she ran deeper diagnostics, unearthing hidden layers packed with data surfacing the keyword, subliminal. Her senses sharpened, the scenario laid bare an insidious conspiracy. "Hey, Nia." A sharp voice cut through the electronic haze around her, her colleague Jeremy weaving through the crowd towards her. "It's something big, Jeremy," Nia said, voice carrying the thrill of discovery. "There's a file. It mentions manipulation, subliminal messaging, all linked back to the government." Jeremy looked around warily, the gravity of her words etching lines of concern across his face. "You are not safe out here if that's true. Director Marcus Holloway won't take this lightly." Despite the danger, her journalist's instincts, honed and unyielding, tugged fiercely at her. She'd always believed in the transformative power of truth, in shining light upon shadows. A part of her, one driven by her father's own quest for justice, knew she had no choice but to follow this thread. Holloway, she mused, realizing the depth of the conspiracy she was poised to unearth. He's playing with minds, with lives. We can't back down now. The realization left her invigorated and terrified all at once, a tumult of energy she channeled into her mission. She gazed up at the city skyline, a testament to both innovation and hidden machinations. Her path was set, her routine life catapulted into a realm of peril and purpose. Beneath the frenetic surface of the city, Nia Carter found herself navigating a labyrinth of forgotten tunnels lined with graffiti and peeling advertisements. The underground nexus thrummed with a subdued energy, the dim lighting shadowing the faces of clandestine operators gathered at makeshift workstations. Nia's breath came in anxious puffs as she made her way through the maze, the grimy air carrying the metallic tang of technology and the muted murmurings of secrecy. At last, she reached Clara's corner, a sanctuary of flickering screens and blinking LEDs. "Clara," she greeted with a cautious nod, taking in the hacker's spiky blue hair and piercing gaze that seemed to see through her facade. Clara leaned back in her chair, her fingers never ceasing their dance over the keyboard. "You are playing with fire, Nia. Holloway doesn't take kindly to snoopers." Nia replied, a steely edge sharpening her voice, "The truth's worth the burn. You know the lengths he goes to control information as much as I do." Together, they focused on the cryptic file. Nia watched as Clara's fingers flew over the keys, her mind working in tandem with the computer's calculations. Their joint efforts gradually turned data strings into comprehensible text, unraveling a sinister picture, schematics for a program designed to exploit and influence the populace through digital mediums. "There it is," Clara said, her voice barely more than a whisper. The hidden program. The gravity of their task shadowed them as Holloway's reach became apparent. Nia's phone buzzed with a message that sent a chill down her spine, a warning from an unknown number, urging her to cease her investigation. "They know I'm onto something," Nia murmured, heart racing yet unclenching with determination. Clara shot her a sharp look, tinged with a mix of admiration and fear. Then we better find more before they find us. The urgency of their mission settled over them like a weight. The digital labyrinth thrumming in the underground nexus whispered threats and possibilities, underscoring the peril they danced with. As Nia departed, her conviction hardened like tempered steel, matched only by the growing shadow of Holloway's opposition. The dim glow from the array of screens in Clara's subterranean lair cast a soft blue light over Nia, as she hunched over her laptop. The air was cool and still, carrying the faint scent of electronics and stale coffee, a testament to the hours spent locked in technological combat with their unseen enemy. "We are hitting a wall," Nia said, frustration tingling beneath her skin like the prick of sharp needles. Her hands balled into fists, resting heavily on the table. Clara's sharp gaze cut through the ambient glow, her fingers motionless for once. "Digital surveillance is upping its game. They're cornering us like rats. We've got to find another way, something we're missing. There's got to be a gap, a flaw." Nia trailed off, lost in the enormity of the task ahead. The silence stretched between them, filled with the hum of processors and the gravity of their spiraling risks. Clara hesitated, then spoke, her voice a mere whisper against the backdrop of droning servers. "And if there isn't, Nia? Is the cost worth the prize? What if we're sacrificing everything for a mirage?" For a moment, doubt gnawed at Nia, an insidious presence threatening to unravel her resolve. She leaned back in her chair, eyes drifting to a faded photograph pinned to the wall, a snapshot of her father, laughing, full of life and relentless pursuit of justice. Clutching the corners of the notebook he'd left behind, Nia felt a spark ignite within her, banishing the shadowy tendrils of uncertainty. Her father had believed in the righteousness of truth, in the power of standing against oppression. His memory, his unyielding spirit, surged through her veins like a revitalizing current. "My father wouldn't back down," she said, her voice clear and determined, smoothing the edges of fear. "This is bigger than us, Clara. It's about the future, about people's right to know." Clara glanced at Nia, a smirk playing at the edges of her lips, tinged with an approving defiance. "Then we dig deeper. Holloway won't know what hit him." The air seemed charged with new purpose as they resumed their work, the keystrokes tapping out a rhythm of resilience. The memory of her father carved a path forward, igniting within Nia a defiant fire, a refusal to yield to the encroaching shadows of malevolent power. Nia sat cross-legged on the floor of her dimly lit apartment, shards of early morning light filtering through the half-closed blinds, casting striped patterns on the carpet. The quiet was a sanctuary amid the storm swirling outside, a fleeting moment of peace marred only by the looming anticipation of Holloway's aggressive tactics. Before her rested a worn notebook, edges frayed from years of care yet still possessing a mysterious allure. Nia traced her fingers over the familiar scrawl of her father's handwriting, looking for something she might have overlooked amid the chaos. "There must be." "There," she breathed, heart skipping as she discovered a series of numbers interwoven in the notes, a hidden code left unremarked until now. Clutching the key piece of the puzzle to her chest, Nia bolted upright. The revelation was exhilarating, charging her mind with a renewed fervor to dive once more into the depths of the digital web. Within hours, she reconvened with Clara in their covered workstation, the screens once more alight with activity. Nia handed over the notebook, and Clara's eyes widened with comprehension as she began typing furiously, hands ablur against backlit keys. "Your father," Clara mused aloud, pausing mid-stroke, "he knew this would matter someday. He left this for you." Together, they broke the final layer, decrypting Holloway's ultimate plan, a map of insidious designs now bared before them. Nia watched the patterns unfolding, a weave of circuits and intentions poised to control and puppet the masses. Her phone buzzed, another threat. Holloway was playing a dangerous game now, encroaching on her life, her digital presence, threatening her very existence with a harshness that left no room for doubt. His hunt was merciless. "We've got them, Clara. We have everything we need," Nia announced, voice steady despite the torrent of adrenaline coursing through her. Clara nodded, determination etched in every line of her face. "Then we need to move now, before he knows what's hit him." They prepared in silence, both aware of the stakes, the whispered threats circling tightening around them like hungry wolves. Nia held fast to the memory of her father's resolve, each new piece of evidence strengthening her resolve for the imminent confrontation. The core of the city's network hub was a temple of technology, a cacophony of whirring machinery and holographic displays casting an eerie glow over the polished floors. The air was heavy with heat and tension, the scent of circuit smoke mingling with underlying notes of sterile plastic. Pushing through the shadows, Nia reached the central console, heart pounding with anticipation and dread. The weight of Holloway's presence was palpable, a figure emerging from the electric haze with all the confidence of a predator approaching its cornered prey. "Nia Carter," Holloway intoned, voice dripping with a measured control. "You've gone too far this time. We both know what happens when curiosities are left unchecked." Nia met his gaze, unflinching. "I know exactly what it means, and I won't stop, with or without your threats." Holloway stepped closer, his shadow looming over her. "I can offer you more than just safety. Wealth, power, you could achieve so much more than just this shoddy act of rebellion." "There's no price on truth," Nia declared, defiance sparking in her eyes. With resolute determination, she began the upload, fingers dancing over the keys as Holloway watched, his icy demeanor shifting subtly towards panic. The data transfer window blinked, showing progression, the oppressive truth encoded within threatening to shatter his meticulously crafted illusion. Suddenly, Clara's voice crackled through Nia's earpiece, barely audible above the mechanical hum. "I'm fending them off as best I can, they're counterattacking hard. Keep moving." The full force of Holloway's digital might clawed at Nia's system, the tension of physical presence against the nape of her neck. She fought to remain focused, bypassing barricade after barricade to keep the upload going. Their struggle was a delicate dance between code and willpower, every keystroke echoing in the vast expanse, the culmination of risk and sheer grit. With a final plea from Holloway hissing between clenched teeth, the upload completed, a ripple running through the digital tapestry. Nia and Clara had succeeded, truth lay bare, curling into the ether beyond his grasp. In the ensuing chaos, Nia made her escape, the strains of Holloway's anger resonating distantly as she slipped into the obscured corridors, a triumphant flight toward the freedom of a newly illuminated city. The city vibrated under a newfound narrative, spreading through the streets like wildfire. Illuminated signs blared with the stark revelation of Holloway's transgressions, filling the crisp evening air with the electric buzz of disruption and change. Nia stood amidst the chaos, wrapped in the echoing cries of a populace waking from inertia. The bracing wind carried the scent of rain and redemption, and satisfaction settled over her like a reassuring hand. Holloway's empire crumbled, his influence eroded as swiftly as it had grown. Networks once saturated with deceit now reverberated with the truth. The fall from grace was severe, his desperate attempts at escape faltered as justice closed in, relentless as the rising tide. Nia's heart clenched with conflicting emotions. The exhilaration of victory clashed with the sobering awareness of her personal collateral, friends endangered, relationships strained by the weight of her mission. Yet beneath it all, lay a simple clarity: truth had been served. Her phone buzzed and she instinctively checked her messages. Clara's familiar tone was imbued with unwonted buoyance. "We did it, Nia. "It's all out there and everyone knows now," Clara declared triumphantly over the airwaves. "And the city knows what it's been sleeping through. Maybe now they'll stay awake." Nia replied with a soft smile, heartened by the resilience shown by ally and stranger alike. Reflecting on her choices, Nia understood the gravity of her actions had set off ripples far beyond personal borders. She could see it, a new beginning, where vigilance replaced ignorance, where voices once silenced might dare to shout. In the wake of Holloway's demise, a burgeoning movement spread through the digital realm, a call for scrutiny, for transparency. She watched the bustling streets below, citizens engaged in tense conversations, some wary, others inspired. Holloway's legacy lay shattered, as did the false promises he wielded as Dominion. And in the cleansing aftermath, Nia accepted her place amongst the architects of change. The moment was pivotal, not just for the city but for her, the understanding that truth bore a multifaceted nature, always necessary yet never simple. She embraced it, knowing it was the beacon guiding her future in this transformed, awakened world. Atop a precipice of steel and glass, Nia stood poised on the edge of the city, the resonant hum of the town sprawled beneath her like a living ocean. The sky above, painted with the colors of twilight, mirrored the neon glow that pulsed from the digital cityscape below. Nia took a deep breath, the cool air filling her lungs with each draw, carrying the traces of distant rain and freshly turned pages, a scent of past closing its chapter. The weight of recent events hung softly around her, each decision a step beyond the bounds of shadow into the realm of myriad possibilities. Yet, in the pulsating vibrancy of the skyline, she found her clarity. Her phone chimed, breaking into her reverie. Clara had sent a message, delivered in quintessential brevity, new data emerging. Might want to check this out sooner rather than later. A quiet smile played at the corners of Nia's lips, recognition of the journey's perpetuity echoing in Clara's words. She stared at the message, then out at the horizon, a cascade of digital symbols reflecting in her eyes like constellations among neon-lit stars. Another mystery, another truth, she whispered to herself, the winds carrying her words into the ether. Her story, tangled in the threads of reality and deception, would continue. Nia turned to descend back into the heart of the city, her resolve renewed. The truth was no longer just a singular pursuit but a beacon, a guide in a world fraught with layers waiting to be peeled back. She knew her role, sentinel of transparency, of justice, a guardian under the cloak of electronic night. The sky folded into the horizon as she moved, a fluid transition from one chapter to the next, past and future interwoven. The city's pulse was steady, a heartbeat aligned with hers, marked by the rhythm of unending possibilities. As buildings rose around her, their frames etched against the fading daylight, Nia felt the fabric of change pressing in. She welcomed it, a part of an ever-unfolding tale, poised at the crossroads of static assurance and dynamic mystery. Her image, mirrored against the glass facade of a nearby skyscraper, portrayed not just a reflection but an enduring promise, an unwavering commitment to chase the truth, whatever shadows it